In this video, we are going to see the power of the multi-time frame trend indicator as well as the custom RSI. It's call it the modified RSI, and on an intraday setting. So this is the Nifty futures charts for yesterday, which is June 5th right here. And you can see the market started off right here and didn't do much over here, but sooner or later you see a trend developing. Now you can already see the custom RSI has gone into the bullish zone. So right here itself, it's going into the bullish zone. And even if you didn't take the trade there, now you can see on the MTFT, you have 2 and plus 1, 3. And the moment you come to this bar right here at 924, you have 4 of them lined up over here. And then on the next bar, you have all 5. By this time, of course, the custom RSI has gone nicely into the bullish zone. So you could have gotten into the trade anywhere over here. So let's say this is a level, if you look to the right side, this is a level of 24,745. And you could have ridden all this. And of course, the MTFT is telling you the master indicator is lit up and custom RSI is nicely in a bullish zone with no sign of coming down. So this tells you to stay in this winning trade all the way till here. This is when you see the first red dot on the lowest time frame, and this is only on the lowest time frame. You don't need to get shaken out by that. Then it goes up again, and so you could have been in this trade all the way till 848. So we're looking at about 100 points on the Nifty futures on just this one trade right here. And custom RSI also tells you, and again it does a little bit of a dip over here, but then it's back to being in the bullish zone, nice and strong. So that's about 100 points on the futures. Now, if you were doing options, let me bring the option screen from NSE for yesterday. And so this is the options for June 5th. So here you go. It's 5th June yesterday. And if you were, and that's at a level of about 24,700, the futures when it started. So let's go for an out of the money call at 24,800. And if you click this over here, you can see how the option prices behaved. So the first 2-3 minutes, there was a little bit of choppiness, and then around 9:21, it actually starts. So you can see the light blue options were 139 rupees at that point, and before this jump came in. And then this jump came in and it went straight from 139 to 187. So that's almost 50 points. And you would expect that because it would be about a 45 delta option. So you would expect half the move on the futures to come out on the options. So as you can see, if you had this option, you were making about 50 rupees straight away on a trade that would have lasted about 15 minutes or so. And then once you come over here around 10 o'clock, you can see there's a lot of greens and reds. So choppiness and custom RSI has come into the neutral zone. So this is the time you do not want to touch this trade at all. Now here you can see a bearish sentiment coming in. So here, you can already see about 3 dots over here. But once you see 4, that's definitely a sign of a bearish sentiment. It's of course temporary. We are looking at intraday charts. So you're going to be in a trade for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So here again, if you were to take the trade right here, when you have 4 of these on the MTFT and the custom RSI has gone into the bearish zone, so say somewhere here, you can ride this a little bit, not a whole lot. You could have ridden it for about 10 to 12 minutes, and that would have been, in terms of points, that would have been about from 845 down to perhaps about 819. So that's about 30 points, let's say. And then you, once again, you see some choppiness here. And then you have to wait for these signals to develop, and that's the key to using these indicators in the most effective manner. Most of the time you might not be in a trade, but that's a good thing because you want to take the best possible opportunities. So let's move on and see how it panned out. Once again, here you can see blues, greens and reds, and custom RSI just oscillating between the neutral zone and just dipping into the bearish. So there's no trade really over here. You can see a small trade developing over here. You can see the master level indicator, and of course custom RSI has gone into the bearish. So somewhere here you could have taken the trade, and you would be in this trade for about 5 to 6 minutes, which is not a bad move. It's about 815 down to about 797, about 20 points on the futures, and then you would have come out on this. Let's move on further. So just like you had a small downtrend here, there's a small uptrend here. it's up to each one whether you want to play that kind of a trend or not. I would wait for a strong trend to maximize the profit potential on every trade. So here you go. Now you can see something. At this point, you have 3 of them lined up, and then immediately you have all 5 lined up. So we're talking about the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minutes. So when all of these are lined up, that means across all of those time frames, the stock is bullish. And so right here you can see, if this was a level of 811, you would have gone all the way till here, which would be about 852. So we are talking about 40 points again. Very nice trade over here. Custom RSI is nicely in the bullish zone, and until you get to this point and you see the price action coming down, you don't need to get out of the trade. So the custom RSI really helps you in staying in a winning trade as much as possible and maximizing your profit potential. And then starting around 11:30 a.m., you can see there is a slight bearish trend developing, more red dots than green, and custom RSI also dips down. So here could be another smallish kind of trade, but that's again about a 20-25 points on the futures there. Let's move on and see where the trend develops. Here you can see a trend is developing right here with the greens starting to stack up, and custom RSI goes bullish over here. So let me pull up the chart. Oh my God, look at that move. That's a monster move right there. So if you looked at it over here, even if you waited for 3 dots, it's right there. Even if you waited for 4 dots, that one also comes over here. So this is a level of 24,843 if you look to the right side, and from there it goes all the way to about 943. That's 100 points again on the Nifty futures. Goes all the way up to 995. I'm sorry, this is about 150 points on the Nifty. So once again, let's come back to the Nifty option chain and see what happened during that move. So we are looking at basically anything that started around say 11:55 to 12 o'clock midday, and then let's see what happened to the option prices there. So we go to 24,800 call, which would be out of the money at that point, or maybe it's not out of the money, it's at the money, but you can even go out of the money. So you can see around 11:50, 11:55, the option price on the light blue, which is the call side, is 170, and then the 170 jumps straight to 270. That's a 100-point move on the options. So you can imagine the kind of profit potential, and with the custom RSI, which helps you stay in this winning trade and maximize your profits. So where you would exit this trade is when you see red dots coming in consistently, and of course you can see the custom RSI dropping pretty drastically. So you wouldn't even wait till this point. You would get out as soon as you see about 2 or 3 dots. This trend, this one big move, that trend is over, and you want to get out of the trade. Then let's move on, and you can see now you can even take a small trade in the reverse direction right here, because even this would have been a move for about 10 minutes or so. Then of course there are smaller moves, but then you can see that there is greens and reds. When you see greens and reds together, that's the time you want to stay out of the trade. And you can see custom RSI also very, very neutral, just barely dips into the bearish, but mostly neutral right here. Again, a small trend over here. If you caught it, you can still make a profit from that. May not be a whole lot. And over here, but you can see the green and red dots. So between the MTFT and the custom RSI, those are the only 2 indicators you need, whether it's an intraday trading setup or whether it's a longer term swing trading kind of an environment. Just between these 2, you can decide which are the trades to take and which are not the trades. So here you can see some bearish trend coming in, about 4 red dots, and the custom RSI has gone into the bearish zone right here. So from here you could have taken a trade once again, and it could have come up till somewhere or around here. So that's about 25-30 points on the futures. So this is how you would use the custom RSI and the MTFT together. Now some of these moves are big, but they're very short, so it only happens over a 3 to 4 minute time frame. So if you were watching it and you caught it, well and nice, but if you didn't, it would happen too fast. And it's where the big moves come and you can make the trade of the day. That's where it really counts. So once again, we have some sort of a nice trade over here at around 2:39 p.m. It goes from a level of 854 to about 892. So if you see the option prices from that time around 230 for yesterday, that should be somewhere right here, and it goes from 177 to about 197. So that's 20 rupees on the option price itself. So that's how you would use the custom RSI and the MTFT together to make your trading decisions very efficient and very profitable. And then from the end of that big trade there, you can see another small bearish round over here. You can get in on this, and then another small bullish over here. But these are smaller trends, but they lasted a little longer, so certainly can be profitable as well. In another video, you'll see how the MTFT and the custom RSI even works for longer time frames. It's actually very, very good for longer time frames because these dots and the bullish zones and the bearish zones, they tend to be really persistent because it's a trend over many, many days. So we'll see that in a separate video. Thank you.